No, I wasn't.
You're recording now?
Yeah. You ready? Let's lock in. Oh. Let's do this thing.
What is up, everybody? This is Aaron Haas.
Yo, yo, yo.
And this is the Love Works podcast.
No, I said that over again. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said yo, yo, yo. No, I'm not even trying to run back my last joke. Let's just actually start over.
No, we're not. We're not starting over, Jessica. We're doing this. Why didn't you want to say yo, yo, yo?
Huh?
Why didn't you want to say yo, yo, yo?
No, I think that was weird. I don't know. I said it as a joke because I thought I was going to make you start over.
Oh, you really thought it was going to make me start? No, because you should know that by now. That was your entire push last time.
I know, but this time I'm being serious.
We should start over?
Yeah.
We're too far in. We've had a lot of good content so far.
I don't think we have.
Dude, wait, I think I got my makeup on the mic.
If nobody watched the last episode, they're going to have no idea what all this is.
Right. Do you seriously want to restart this?
Whatever you feel like. This is your podcast.
Is it going to play with your mind if we don't?
No.
Okay. We keep it. All right, we're back. Yo, Jessica.
Two.
Yeah, take two. Take 3, take 4, take 5. Here we go. Jessica, yo, you are back on this episode.
I am back.
And I'll give you a quick intro. I'll give you a real one.
A real one this time.
No yo-yo-yos? Do you want to throw one in there?
No, I think I'm good this time.
Okay, you ran out of yo-yo-yos?
Yep.
Have you ever used a yo-yo before?
Yeah, I have actually.
You're pretty good at
I was
yo-yoing?
my 3rd grade championship winner for the yo-yo competition.
I was second place.
You just had to one-up me. But go ahead.
You were a championship winner. I was second place. That would mean you one-upped me.
No, because why in telling my own story, I said in the 3rd grade, I thought 3rd place. Wow. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since 3rd grade too. So 3rd grade is a long time for most humans, Jessica.
Not for 4th graders.
You're not in 4th grade. I really hope not.
No.
You're not?
Far from it.
Far from it. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. You just are saying the truth.
Great.
And I appreciate that. Jessica. Yeah. So yeah, this is my little intro.
Okay.
This is Jessica.
This is me.
Yeah. This is Jessica Morales. Second time guest, second time guest in a regular season episode. Other than my mother, she was on an episode, but it was a special.
Come on.
This person right here, she's a real one. She's an author. She's a friend. She's a big baller shot caller. She's doing the things.
I'm editing.
She doing the edits. She's not doing the edits. And the edits. She also she likes
Yep. This is going great. This is going great.
She likes salsas.
Like
food.
red and green salsa.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Habanero.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the red one.
I said the red and green
All right.
already.
And then any other ones? You ever had a mango habanero salsa?
No, I think that's only a wing sauce.
Mango habanero?
Mango habanero.
Is that how you say it?
No.
Mango.
You said it wrong.
Mango habanero. Mango
Habanero.
habanero. Did I right? Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, dude. Culture.
Culture.
Dude, I'm pumped you're back on.
I'm really excited.
This is gonna be a monumental episode
Not gonna lie, I was overwhelmed by the response too
of
on
what?
our first episode.
Oh, about everybody that enjoyed it.
Yeah.
A lot of people messaged me about it. A lot of people were like, "Don't bring Jessica back on. Delete the episode." Had like one or two people that were like, "Yeah, Jessica, this was a good episode. You should maybe have her back on." And I was like, "Okay." So I took those to heart, and I was like, "I'll bring Jessica back on."
Okay.
Yeah, but so all right. So since the last episode, how have you been?
You just shitted on me. You're like, anyways, so how have you been? Everybody said you were trash, except two people, one of which was your mom.
Yeah, yeah. My mom. Actually, no. Wait, it was my mom. She messaged me twice. She said the same thing twice. It was no one else. Yeah. So how have you been?
I've been good. When did we record? I don't even remember.
It was maybe a month ago.
Was it a month?
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
I mean,
not.
I've been good. I don't know. I think I was. What was last month? February? March? Jeez, what month are we in?
January, February, March.
April? March?
April.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's not May yet. So yeah.
Yeah. We're in March. You know, chilling. I feel like
Was it
literally.
March?
I don't know anymore.
I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah.
Today it's almost tomorrow, so we could be like, yes, tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Honestly, been good. Not much has happened in life besides just, working, editing.
Oh, you still do that?
I still do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
that's why I was unsure.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just didn't know if you did that. Okay. So you do editing
Just
still.
have a big season, here
Big
passing
season?
by with Easter and all the things. So Mother's Day.
I didn't know if you're not like on break or something or anything.
Oh, no.
Okay, I didn't know if you were like
No vacation time just yet.
Yeah, you got a haircut?
I got a haircut.
Were you trying to flex that, or no?
No, I was just trying to fix it.
Oh,
But
because like
flex on 'em, you know?
she looked right. If you're listening to this, she looked right at the camera and she like grabbed her hair and she pulled it around and then she looked at me and she mouthed, "Talk about the hair." And I was like, "Oh," I said, "Okay, I can bring it up if you really want," but I didn't think I needed to. But yeah, so yeah, you
We
get a
should talk
haircut.
about your haircut. The one you got at Great Clips. Remember that?
I didn't go to Great Clips.
Well, basically. Or probably Great Clips would have been better at that point.
Why are you being so mean right now?
No, because why are you being mean?
Actually, I don't know why I'm being mean.
Yeah, exactly. I know why. So we won't talk about it.
You know why I'm being mean?
Yeah.
Alrighty. I also know why I'm being mean, and it's just because that's what I do. I'm just a mean person doing mean things.
That's how love works.
Hey, let's scratch this episode. Let's start. I don't like this. Can we start over? Yeah, okay. All right. Here we go. Yeah, so Jessica.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So you're doing all right. You did actually get a haircut. I actually got a haircut, and I had a terrible one at first.
Yeah.
That
Pretty
almost
bad.
ruined my life.
It was rough.
I don't listen. That is true.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Is this better than the last one I had? The most recent. The most recent was like a fix up from the really bad one.
Yeah. Let's go to the next question.
Okay, this is not a good haircut. Noted. Bad haircut. Okay. Next question. Well, that was all I had. I don't have anything else. So I mentioned this is gonna be a short episode.
You've had some upgrades. I can see since we last talked. Share with us
Yes.
what has happened since we last talked.
I got approved for another credit card, so that's kind of cool. So I have another credit card.
Yeah.
So shout me out if you ever need anything. Got a $500 limit because
Shut up! Don't tell me you got a $500 limit.
Yeah, dude. So I'm making a big buck. I got two of them. Both got $500 limits.
Come on.
So shout out.
You got a stack on them.
Yeah, shout out. Just barely able to pay rent. You know what I'm saying? So, and I got a little extra, little pocket change. And
You got some upgrades to the house. There's food on the counter this time.
There was some. I ate some noodles whenever.
Yeah.
So
You left dishes out in the sink this time.
I normally have my apartment really clean. I try to keep things super clean because I like to come home to a clean house and apartment. If you really want to be politically correct, because broke and yeah. So I normally come home to a clean one, but I made noodles at like 1 o'clock in the morning because I was hungry,
That was wise.
and then
Gluten free.
gluten free. Shout out my GFs
Shout
out there.
His plant is still alive.
Yeah, the plant is still alive. And we're just living life.
Yeah, just living life.
Just that's my upgrade. Noodles and life.
yeah. Noodles and life.
LL.
Yeah.
LL. Wait, NL. NL?
Yeah, I was like, LL.
Yeah. So,
NL, come on.
but yeah, honestly, on the real talk, the podcast has been doing pretty well.
Yeah, you've had some dope guests on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite guest?
I can't say.
Is it you? It's like me.
No, oh my gosh, no.
Like,
I can't say because I'm like, they've all been really good in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's awesome. Yeah, dude, I love it. I'm excited about this. Jessica, if you could travel to space, would you go to space?
I'd probably travel to like Greece before I would try to go to space,
For real?
Yeah.
Greece is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's not like space though.
No, but it's just like there's no gravity up there. So imagine having to
In
use
Greece
a
or in
restroom
space?
in space.
I feel like we could figure out the gravity thing in space.
I don't know why I just thought of John Mayer's song Gravity.
Great song.
It just popped in my head. It started
But he's an
playing.
incredible guitar player too.
I love John Mayer.
He is cool. My
Slow
buddy used to
Dancing in a
love him.
Burning Room.
Yeah, I don't know a ton of his.
Man.
I haven't listened to him in so long. He hasn't.
Really?
I don't know if he's dropped any music recently.
That's
has he?
just like a solid breakup song.
Oh, really?
Slow Dancing in a Burning Room.
Maybe I need to like break up with somebody. Maybe I'll like call my mom, like, Mom, we're breaking up, and then listen to that song and be like,
Maybe don't say you're breaking up with your mom.
but what if we are?
Aaron,
Like, I
just
don't.
trust me on this one.
Okay, Mom, guess what? We're not breaking up. This is a good day. Because for a minute I was like, we might be breaking up, so I could listen to this song. But maybe I don't. We don't
Or
have
maybe I don't know. Just go there because you've been in a relationship before.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
With my mom. It was actually really good.
Please stop talking.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done talking. I'm done. No more talking. Your turn.
Okay. When was the last time you really felt yourself be free?
Like I said, I wasn't talking. I'm just fine. No, that's a great question. So being free, man, honestly, I really feel like worshiping is like a freeing moment for me. Sometimes I just will close my eyes and I just like kind of just feel. I just love feeling the things around me. That kind of feels free.
Yeah. Tell me, what's like the headspace that you get into when you worship? And like, are you talking about worship in general or leading in worship?
I would say, let's say both.
Okay.
For people that don't know this is, I lead worship at a church or part of a worship team at a church. And I also just enjoy worship. So actually, this is a fun story. I used to I hated church. There have been moments all throughout my life that I was like, man, I do not like church. But I found myself just I felt the Holy Spirit in a church service when I was like 9 years old. It was during worship and didn't really care much about music, but I remember being in worship and the Holy Spirit was like, practically like, I'm here.
Well,
And you're I don't even know. I can't put a pin on the exact words, but I love you, and your mistakes are like I want you, like I accept you. Mistakes you've made, I forgive you.
Mom.
Um,
And you were 9?
yeah, I was 9, 10.
Jesus.
And I just remember being in that moment and like weeping. Like the whole service, I'm weeping, just weeping and weeping and weeping. And I get home and I knew in that moment, like I was like, Jesus saved me.
Well,
And I go home, I'm just up in my room crying and praying as best as I knew how. I didn't even know like what I was doing. I was just like, God, I don't even know if I'm fully saved right now, but like if like I just want to give it to you or whatever. And so really ever since then, worship has been just such a freeing moment for me.
yeah.
Because I've done the stupid things. Like
Yeah.
still do them. Like even as my biggest mistakes I ever made were as a believer. Running
Yeah.
from the promises God had for my life. This is not a Christian podcast, but I'm speaking from my perspective, which is from the perspective of a believer in Jesus. And it was like every time I found myself in that spot of, yeah, I'm addicted to this, I can still worship right after. Man, I made this mistake. It was like worship was always accessible. Matter of fact, when I got
Jeez.
grounded and in trouble, like I got caught with like drugs and stuff all in my room. And I remember I like stole an iPod and all it had was worship music on it. And I was just in my closet worshiping Jesus with the stolen iPod. And
That's
so
funny.
it was just like, man, I'm delivered. And so that's the space I go into when I'm worshiping. It's like, man, there's freedom for me. I want to be able to show that physically. And I also want to be able to say like, this is acceptable to you.
Jeez.
Yeah. I also believe that there's communication all over how you worship and how you speak. So it's like even the way that you move your body, like displays there's like Jesus is accepting.
Yeah.
So I found myself in that spot a lot.
That's really dope. I love when I see you like on stage with worship because I'm like, you can just tell you fully go there.
Yeah.
Like heart, mind, and soul, like it's just all present and like in worship. And I'm like, I think it's such a beautiful thing because I'm like, one, not only do you bring like literally leading people to the throne room, but you also bring like the joy and the excitement too, which I think is a really dope duality to be able to like present to other people to like help them encounter the presence of God.
That's awesome. And I appreciate you saying that too. Do you find yourself in that spot when you're doing like content stuff?
Like, in a place of like worship?
In a place of worship and also in a place of even like is it freedom in that? Is there
Yeah, it's so funny because I'm like, I literally pray about all the content that I put out because I'm like, I never want it to feel as if it's like trying to brand me. And there's definitely been posts that the Lord's like, go ahead and take that down,
I get that.
But there's been other things where I'm like, is this going to help somebody or is this going to edify the body? I call like literally like my audience. I'm like, this is my stewardship. Like people are deciding to follow me and I need to steward that well.
Yeah.
Right now I'm on a social media fast and so I haven't really been on, but literally it's one of those things where I'm like, God, if this isn't glorifying to you, or if this isn't helping somebody, then I'm not posting.
Dang.
So
Even for your own, like you don't ever even post like fun photos anymore?
I feel like for marketing sake, I do a lot of like photo dumps every once in a while, and that's just for the sake of relatability and people to like
Genius.
see a person. But then that's also why I post a lot of stories, did post a lot of stories just for the sake of relatability and for people to like to know me. Just because I'm like, I think my audience has changed, and I'm still trying to grasp my audience in this season. Because I'm like, my following has shifted a lot. in comparison to the past. And so I'm really rebuilding that. And I think something the Lord told me was like, you need to figure out who you are first, and become that before you find your audience. Wow. And I think right now, like in this season, God's like, head down, get to work, and let the rest follow. And so I haven't been doing as much content as I used to, or pushing out as much as before, just because I feel like God's doing an inner work right now. Wow. And so I think just something I learned overall was just like, build the thing and then teach others to do the same.
Come on.
And so right now it's just about building the thing.
Come on. For the people that don't know, Jessica is one of the most creative people that I know. She also serves at Relevant Church, where she does worship and creative arts. Mm-hmm. And she's the director of that. I wanted to make sure I got your title correct. I was like, let me make sure I can say the right words. But she is incredible at that. And so her Instagram page is a picture of her creativity. Last time we talked, you were in the process of writing a book, getting that published, getting things ready. Jesus. Where are you at right now with that? Let's hear it.
So I finished writing, and that was insane.
Okay.
Because I never liked reading growing up. So the fact that I finished like a whole book, I'm like, what, God? It was literally 55,000 words. And I'm just like, insane.
Yeah.
And I sent it to like 2 people to review. And man, has like just their feedback been so dope. Like there's this one woman who was just like, I really wish I had this book during my first healing journey. Like I had to like scrap for this information over the years. She's like, but literally you have it all here in this book. Yeah. And then the other person, she's a therapist, and I do a lot of psychology in there, and I was like, I want you to read it, make sure like everything's like accurate. But then also too, like give me just reviews on what you think. And she's just like, I've been doing everything. She's just like, and she I remember she was like, we need to celebrate your book, whatever. And so we went out to dinner, and she like literally had screenshots and like highlighted places.
Wait, is this? Do I know this person?
Yeah.
Oh, I want them on the podcast.
Oh my God, please do.
Yeah.
I will be here, like present, like
come
for
on.
that, because what? But yeah, she was like, I was reading this today, and she's like, I know I'm supposed to be reviewing. She's like, but man, like I was highlighting and taking notes because I needed this.
Come on.
And so the fact that like these 2 people have already received from it, like just in the editing, I'm just like, all right, God, this is something I want to give back to the Lord and let him do what he will with that. And so my prayer is that it just continues to impact people and just like see lives transformed, like it's essentially a guidebook of how I overcame and how other people can too.
Right. And I think that's what is going to make it impactful, because it's like you share your story, but you also share like there is an exit. You're not stuck in this. And I think sometimes we get caught up in this world of just chaos. There's a lot of chaos that goes around in front of us, and we're just like, maybe I'm just here.
Yeah.
But there's an exit out of whatever season you're in life right now, and even maybe the poor mental state. And I believe your book's going to give people that.
Wow. I believe it. I pray it does. It was literally through prayer, through a lot of late nights, and just God, all I have is my story, Yeah.
So, Jessica, you, how many siblings do you have?
Oh, 2.
You have 2 siblings?
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got one brother that is one of the funniest human beings in the world that I've been able to meet over FaceTime, and I'm like, this kid is awesome. I want him to be my best friend and be on this podcast.
Joseph is
let me get Joseph on this podcast.
Guy ever.
He I would love it because I don't think he has a filter, and I love
He has 0 filter.
Come on, shout out No Filter Gang.
No Filter Gang. I wish I could be like as free as he is.
So awesome.
Love him.
And then you have a brother named Julian.
Yeah.
Tell me Julian's story.
Oh man, Julian is what a guy. I love him. So Julian was born 2014.
Right.
Wildest story, because at that time me and my mom were caregivers for my grandfather, and I remember earlier in the week when Julian was born, my grandpa was actually being put on hospice that week.
Right.
And he got put on hospice Monday evening. On Wednesday, we had to take my mom to the hospital because she was having like really bad like stomach pains and issues and stuff like that. She was already like pregnant, well, obviously, but she was like, you know, near her due date. But we took her in, and then Thursday she ends up delivering Julian via C-section. And I just remember like getting the call, and part of me was so excited because I'm like, what if like Julian being born is going to give my grandpa the strength? Because in my mind, I was just like really naive and like really believe like my grandpa can like heal from cancer, like fully. Like I didn't understand what like hospice meant, and I'm like, is God able to do that 1,000%? I just had like this really like optimistic hope that like Julian would give my grandpa the strength.
Wow.
And so I remember I'm headed to the hospital, and I called my grandpa, and I was like hoping he would answer. And my uncle actually answers, and he's like, hey, Mija, what's up? And I said, let me talk to your grandpa. And then he's like, grandpa just like went into a coma, like a deep sleep. And I was just like, well, wake him up. Like, I don't understand. And he's like, no, Mija, like, I don't know if he's going to wake back up. And I'm like, what do you mean? And so I'm like, in my mind, like, it's still not computing, you know, like, no, he's going to wake up. Like, you're tripping.
Right.
Like, I know my grandpa, he's strong. And then we're in the waiting room, and they tell us like, Julian's born. There's been some complications, but we're working on it. Your mom is resting right now. So I called my grandpa again because I was like, okay, maybe like, you know, he'll answer now. And so like my uncle answers again. He's like, Mija, like he's still not waking up, and it's been a couple hours. And I'm like, okay, well, tell him Julian was born. Like, tell him, like, because in my mind, I'm like, if you tell him, like, he'll get up. And he's like, okay, Mija, like, I'll talk to you later. I'll call you if there's any updates. He's like, how's your mom? And like, in that moment, I was like, I'm not going to tell him that there's been some complications, because I'm like, I don't want them to worry. And I was just like, and I don't, you know, like, they just don't need to know right now.
Right.
And so I think it was after a few hours, I finally got to go back and like see my mom. And I'm like, I walk in the room, and I'm like looking for my brother, and I'm like, where's the baby? And they're like, the nurses still have him. So like straight after the delivery, like they kept Julian. And we didn't know it at the time, but apparently when he was born, this was released years later after multiple times requesting it from, you know, paperwork and stuff from the hospital. But they ended up releasing that the day he was born, he came out like trembling, like shaking. Wow. And they thought he was having a seizure. And they gave him an adult dosage of a medication. Jeez. And ended up causing a number of delays, you know, Jeez. For his development and all that stuff. And so I remember that night, it was just like, we saw him for like 5 minutes, like literally, like they brought him into an incubator. My mom was able to hold him, and then they had to take him back to fly him over to another hospital to get him checked because he wasn't doing well. And so we're sitting in this tension, like I'm in this moment, like I'm sitting in this tension of like, one, my mom is not well at all. Like I cannot imagine like what it must have been like to like deliver your baby, know your father has just been put on hospice, deliver your baby, they're telling you there's complications, and your like few hour old baby is now being flown out to another city, like 30 minutes away, to continue to get checkups because there may be something wrong.
Wow. And
she just had a very traumatic like C-section. And so like we're all just kind of there like, what? Like our world is just shaken up now, you know? And I'm like, I know my grandpa's like not waking up, and this is not a good thing.
Yeah.
And so I remember going to the doctors, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, this is what's happening with my grandpa. And then they're like, you cannot tell your mom right now. Wow. Like, they're like, we urge you, like,
it's dangerous.
This is, like this one, she won't do well.
Yeah.
And so I don't know everything that happened in the hospital room for her, but they like were like, please do not tell her anything. And so I just kind of kept it. And it ended up being 2 days later, my grandpa passed away. You know, obviously she ended up actually finding out throughout a dream, which was so wild. I'll share that because that's a crazy like God story. Because we had to end up telling her because his hospice nurses were like, you guys need to come say your goodbyes. He has hours left, and so we're to not make it seem like, okay, mom, like we're just leaving you. Like my uncles came down from LA. I was back in California, and they came down. They sat. They talked with her. They told her what was going on, and that they were gonna take me and my brother to like go see my grandpa, and that night, because we went up Saturday morning, Saturday into Sunday. My mom has a dream that my grandpa was sitting by Julian's incubator in a rocking chair, like this brown rocking chair, and he's just holding Julian. And the next morning we call her and we're like, everybody's like at the table, like, who the hell is going to tell her?
Right.
Like, she's still going through this. Like, she saw her son for 5 minutes. She's still in a whole other city. Like, from Julian, like, you can't make her choose. Like, who are you going to go see, And we're like, obviously, like, go see the baby. And she chose to go see my brother because she's like, I know that's what dad would want. And, but yeah, when she goes to see my brother Sunday, because she's released to be able to go see him, she says she goes into the NICU, and right next to his incubator is a brown rocking chair. And that's so wild.
That's crazy.
And she was like, and when I saw that, I knew dad had passed. And so, our journey with Julian, he ends up being in the NICU from October to like January. What I'm talking about, like, we're in one hospital one week and another hospital another. We spent the holidays in the Ronald McDonald House because my brother was out in the Children's Hospital in LA, and this was during the holidays. And so we spent Thanksgiving, like, people were generous enough to like show up and make meals. And, that nonprofit was super awesome because they, like, I think they had such a discounted rate for us to be able to stay in LA. Because, like, traveling back and forth, that was like 2 hours to and from, like,
right.
That was total of 4 hours of drive. And so, like, being able to stay there and just be with our family, and they gave us like great resources with like therapists and all that stuff. But it was a journey because it was navigating like one loss and then not knowing if this was going to be another loss.
Yeah.
I never will forget, like, the first time I went to go see Julian. He was already about like, he was like about a week old when I think I first like actually got to like see him. And I remember seeing him in like his little incubator. He's just like a tiny little guy. And my mom's like, do you want to hold him? And I'm looking at her like, hell nah.
Right.
Because in my mind, I was like, I don't want to hold him. Because if I hold him, I'm going to love him. And if I love him, like, I might lose him. And that was always my greatest fear. Because I'm like, I'm navigating like a heavy heart, like with my grandfather, And so I was like, I can't. But then I was like, but I have to. Like, how can I not?
Yeah, because I already love him.
And so I remember just holding him and like falling in love with this little guy. He had like the ugliest cry ever that I absolutely loved.
Me too. I cry so ugly.
Yeah. And because he used to pucker his lips and like frown heavy. And I'm like, drama. He made the ugliest little face. It was the best thing. But unfortunately, there just continued to be like a number of delays. My brother never had like a suck, swallow, or gag reflex. And so he had to be fed through a tube. And he ended up coming home in January of 2015. And I remember my mom was like excited to have him back home, but they're like, he has to stay still within the house. Like, you can't have a lot of people coming over. So my family, we were ones that like, we had family over like every weekend. And when I mean every weekend, they were there from Thursday to Sunday night. Like, we were partying the whole time.
Y'all started the weekend early.
Yeah. Like carne asadas. Like, we were just having like movie nights. Like all my cousins would come over. But that had to stop just because it was hard now with like Julian, and like if you were sick, like you couldn't come over. If like whatever, if you're being exposed, like all this stuff. And this is prior COVID, you know? And so like the dynamics of our house changed a lot. But so then I think it was like after 90 days, they let him like leave the house to like a point where it wasn't a doctor's appointment. And I think my mom was also like, finally, like I can take him somewhere. Wild enough, they were gonna go out to like this like woodsy area out in California. It's really pretty, a lot of fresh air where they're like, you know, this is outside, but it's not like out in a like within a confined public space where there's a lot of people.
Right.
But it's like natural air, like fresh air, whatever. He'll be great. They're literally at a grocery store in the same like near the same hospital he was flown to the first night he was born. And all of a sudden, they're in the parking lot getting ready to leave. My grandma's like, he's turning blue. He's not breathing. And my mom was like, what the heck? And so thank God, because they were next to a hospital, there was a nurse nearby. She starts performing CPR. They call 911. She's on the phone with him. Like, thank God for this angel.
Yeah.
His dad comes out. They call 911, all this stuff. Because it's right on the street, they get him to the hospital. Like, literally, it's a block over.
Wow.
And he has lack of oxygen to the brain for 5 minutes. And so they're like trying to resuscitate this like not even 6-month-old baby.
Wow.
And the social workers are talking to my mom. They're like, are you understanding what's happening? And my mom's just kind of like aloof. She's just like, I know exactly what's happening. Let me know what we need to get done for my child. Like, my mom's like one of those like, get it done now, you know?
We're going to figure this out. Otherwise, I'm going to figure you
Yeah,
out.
okay, period. Like, literally, that's Nora. And so they're calling me. And when I tell you I never drove so fast my whole life, like, I'm zooming.
Yeah.
And I end up there. And yeah, like, miraculously, like, Julian makes it. But this caused, again, a number of delays to the brain. And that's actually was like kind of the beginning of the end, because his brain started deteriorating and there was like a small black hole that was like considered like brain dead. And over the course of time, it started spreading over his entire brain.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question. The season of life you're in now, season of life you were in then, how did that affect you?
Like going through the journey with him, dang, I'm getting so much more emotional than I anticipated. I haven't talked about this in a minute. I feel like then there was just so much like tenacity that I had, you know? It was kind of like you have no option but just to do it. And I mean, we were on like crazy schedules. Like his first medications were like at 6 a.m. The last ones were like late night. And like we had just such a very like, how do you say it? Like we had a lot of structure back then because we had to for him. I felt like there was a lot of tension points that we would have because it was like our whole world has changed, you know? And you're asked like, what's the difference now? And I'm like, I look back and I'm like, I remember being in those moments and being like, this is so like overwhelming. And like my heart right now when you ask me is like, but I wish I could be back there in that moment because at least I had him then. And so
even going back to the spot where you get to hold him for that first time.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things that's like hindsight 2020 is like, man, I'm so thankful that like we went through that, you know? Like I'm so thankful for Julian because it was like he taught us like so much. Like my brother, he was like nonverbal, completely reliant on us. And this kid got big at some point, okay? Because like he passed away when he was 8 years old. My guy was hefty, okay? Like, but like if you ever see my mom, she's a tiny little thing, a little shorter than me and just like skinny. She would pick him up like it was nobody's business. And I'm like, dude, let me stretch before I get Julian. Like, jeez.
So sweet.
Yeah, but it was just like, it's one of those things that I'm like, like without him ever speaking or being able to move, like he taught us so much more than like anybody ever has. You know, just the way he like loved, like his presence carried such a strong like way of loving other people so well. That's why I'm like, you don't need many words to love people right. I think if you allow yourself to be the presence of Christ's love, like that in itself is enough, you know? Like the ministry of silence and just being present will do more than you can ever think and imagine. Because it's not you trying to find the right words, the clever words, or, you know, the right things to say, but it's just like, hey, I'm here with you. Yeah. You know? That's what I always tell people. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, thinking about going to church after my brother passed, I was like, ugh, I don't even want to do it. Because people would be like, they say stupid things that, like, just please stop
say
talking.
stupid things whenever I'm not going through a tragic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, now you make me feel like I'm in a tragic spot because you said something stupid.
Yeah, it was like, you know, God needed a home. Like, first of all, my God is big. He doesn't need anybody. It was just his time to go. Or like, what would they say? They would say something about like, well, at least he's at peace now. It's like, duh. But it's just like, and I can still be sad that I miss my brother.
I'm not in a peaceful spot. Like, you don't have to tell me that, you know?
Yeah, or I don't know. I just feel like people always try to like find the right things to say, or like, I don't know, just give you like this like pity look. And it's just like, bro, just
come over here and hug me. Don't
like,
even say a word.
Don't say nothing. Like, one of the like best things a friend did for me when my brother passed away was she literally came over and stayed. She just stayed. She's like, if you want to be in the room and cry, I'll just stay with you. If you want to go grab something to eat, I'll go with you. Like, that's all she did. She didn't try to say anything. She didn't try to like find the right words. She just stayed. And that in itself was so much ministry to me. That in itself like helped my heart heal. Yeah.
Oh, man, I love that. And so going forward, do you have a heartbeat to be a parent?
I think it scares the mess out of me.
Yeah.
Because of what we went through with Julian, where I'm like, I'm going to have an at-home birth. I'm going to figure this out.
Don't you dare try and give my child anything.
Literally.
The drink? No, you don't need another drink.
Like, eyes on my child as soon as he exits this womb, okay?
Pass it.
Oh, I don't care. You got to check him. You're going to check him in my arms. You're going to weigh him. You better, like, you know, figure this scale out. How much do my arms weigh? And then minus that. Because I'm not letting him go. No, I do want kids. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm in one of those seasons where I'm just like, I think it's beautiful, but I'm also getting older and we're a few steps behind. And so I'm like, Lord, you know,
yeah,
what's good? But also I'm good right now.
Like, yeah, no, it's good. And so, being in that spot, of singleness, where does that put you mentally? So you're saying like, yeah, cool, I'm getting older, right? I'm just playing.
Keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah, you're done. No. Back on track, Aaron. So yeah, you're in that spot of like, you're in this singleness. You're okay with it. Where are you at mentally because of it? Do you ever get in your head saying, man, I'm
single, like why? Like
yeah.
That. I think I did a lot in my 20s. For a long time. I was like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? But I was just like, honestly, looking back now, I'm like, thank God. I think that was God's covering over my life. I tell this to like our young girls. I'm like, you know, because they'll be like, oh, my husband this, my husband that. And I'm like, are you actually ready to be a wife?
Wow.
Like truly. Because it's not just about like wanting a husband. It's about also like, are you a wife? You know? Right. And so I'm just like, for me, I'm like, I look back and I'm like, thank God I never got married at the time that I wanted to, especially to the men who were around during that time. Because I was like, I would have destroyed that marriage.
Right.
But I think I've gotten now to a place where I'm like, I've found contentment, and it hasn't always been there. And like, there's still times where I wrestle with it. But I have been reading this book recently, and it's honestly freed me
Come on.
from a lot of like past relationships, past her, all this stuff. But it's also given me really good like perspective. One of the things that they said, because I feel like a lot of single people have this pressure of like, you're not alone, like don't say that, like you have community, like you have like people, like you've got God, you know. It's just like, yeah, I can have all these things and still feel alone.
Right.
And I think something this book pointed out that like literally like freed me from so much, that it's like, it's something we know, but I feel like it was like a spirit of like wisdom just like dropped. Like as soon as I read this, it was like God was in the garden with Adam, yet he knew he was alone. Like God was walking with Adam, yet he knew he was alone. And that to me was like, it freed me, because it's like people have always put this pressure of like, oh, you're good, you got God, you know, like God's got you and all this stuff. And I'm just like, yeah. And yet my Father knows I'm alone.
Wow.
And that's okay. You know? And so where it's like, I can find contentment in my singleness for however long the season may be. I can still desire that and that be okay. And I don't have to feel this pressure of like, I have to be okay, quote unquote, because people say like, I got God and God's got me. Like, yes, obviously he does.
Right.
And yet he knew Jessica was alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So loneliness. Do you ever?
We just going all the heavy hitters back to back.
Yeah, I love it. So that's just how we roll. Loneliness. Mm-hmm. Do you ever find yourself in a state where you're like, man, I'm so lonely, I don't know if I can take it anymore?
Yeah, and I think that's what's gotten me in like bad situationships.
Situationships. Okay.
Situation.
So situationships. And what about, did it ever put you in situations where it was like, you let go of just your own morals or anything that
Jesus,
you would
get
have
out of my
said?
house.
Get out of your house? This is my house.
Mine today.
Yeah. Yes. He said, actually, you're moving out.
Actually, you're done.
Yeah.
This art, take it down.
What? You don't like it? I'll just let you keep it for whenever I'm.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we talked a little bit about it too in the last episode of like just like how I started dating like really dumb, and you know, trying to numb myself or trying to find myself or trying to just to even feel something. I've settled for a lot less than what I've deserved. And it's so interesting. Like, you know, the primal questions. Have you read through that? You've tested, have you?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine.
Say them. Say what they are. Or do you know what they are?
I don't know all 7. I know mine. But it's just a test. I feel like put in the link or something in the YouTube link so they can find it. But yeah, mine were a mix between am I loved and am I wanted. Am I wanted like hit a lot, and am I loved made me cry when I read the chapter. It was just like when we're in our scramble for like and having these questions answered, we'll like settle for scraps, you know?
Wow.
And I think for a long time, because I'm like, I struggled with a lot of like unworthiness with just like my other story that I shared in the last episode, and just like a lot of shame and like a lot of like, it's so funny because we were having this conversation in the office the other day, but I was telling them I was like literally the ugly friend in high school. Like people would like guys would come up to me and be like, so your friend's like really pretty, like what's like her name, right? But I was like, I never got that intention like in high school. And so like I always dealt with like, am I pretty, like actually, like, you know? And it wasn't until recently that I've gotten a lot more confident in my appearance. But I'm like, I also like dealt with that too, like not feeling like pretty enough and stuff like that. I also living in California where it's like all vanity. And so it's just like, then you're comparing yourself and like all these things. And so, yeah.
Wow. I feel like that's the most relatable thing too. Like people are going to listen to that and be like, that's me. Like I'm the same way. All right. So
what part?
I feel like people are going to listen to that and be like, man, maybe I wonder too, you know, maybe am I the attractive person? Am I the person that's worth it? Am I lovable? Am I this? Am I that? Like, I think that's so real.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until like I feel like I moved here that a lot of people, and it's funny too because I'm like at church randomly, they'd be like, "Wow, you're like so pretty," and I'm like, "Bruh, I'm in a t-shirt and just like regular," and I'm like, "You think so? Like this isn't even my best, and you think that for real?"
I didn't even try today.
Real. Or like I was talking to that same friend that you should have on,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I remember I would
We can
see
say her
you."
name, Kim.
Shout out Kim, I love her so much.
Yeah, I want to schedule her. for
Yeah.
sure.
You scheduled her already?
No, I want to. I
Oh,
need
okay,
to.
okay, yeah, schedule
I
her.
don't know if I asked her, but I need to schedule her.
Yeah. But I remember she was just like, man, just like the presence you had, and I just thought like, wow, and she's so pretty too. And I was just like, you thought it was pretty? And like it's just so, it's like really funny to me because I'm like, one, I've never felt that way. But a lot of people out here have been like, oh yeah, like Allison, I think one time described me to like one of her friends. She's like, yeah, and you'll meet Jessica. Jessica, she's like really pretty. Like you'll see her, and I'm like, what? Like I just never felt that way, you know. Just so to hear people say that, and then two, I just think like, in terms of like the worthiness and am I lovable and like am I this, and it's just like, also too, I think something that's been coming so real for me is like God sent for me.
Come on.
Like God sent for me, like through his son,
Come on.
through my testimony,
Right.
through different people at the right time.
And you're still here.
And I'm still here.
Wow. Story's not over yet.
And it is not over yet. And so I'm just like, if God has graced me this far, like then heck yeah, I'm worthy.
Come on.
Like heck yeah, I'm lovable, because obviously like God sees something, and even if man doesn't, like, okay, God's got me.
That's awesome. So when are you starting your podcast, Jessica?
Stop it.
When are you starting it? Man, let's hear it. Give us a date.
I don't have a start date, and I don't have a release anything. I haven't heard an official yes.
On starting your podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm excited about it. All right, Jessica, this is a tradition I started on the podcast, I think literally after your episode. So every episode, I give my guest an opportunity to ask me any question, uncut, unfiltered, honest response. What question do you have for me?
Would this be near the close?
Relatively.
Okay. Let me think about it. Dang, I wish you would have prepped me so I could have had a little bit more time to think about this.
Maybe you should have listened to a recent episode.
I did, but I forgot that you were going to do this.
Yeah.
What's one question I can ask you? Uncut.
She's building the anticipation, guys. She already has the question. She's
I
just
don't. I'm trying to think of it.
You gotta let him think that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm building the
She's building
anticipation.
it. She's building it. She's like, she's got it in there. We're just waiting for it.
I can actually go there.
Go there.
We talked about being big personalities. Do you think your big persona is hiding something?
Heavy question. Big personality or big persona? Define persona for me, please. Spell it out. Just fine.
Use it in a sentence.
Yeah, persona. So like personality.
Mm-hmm.
Does my big personality hide something?
Do you feel like you have to overcompensate?
Yeah, for like things I like just because of who I am. Overcompensate. That's a good question. I have a big person. I've always had a big personality. I will start with that. I will also say I have found so much worth in it. With the question, if I'm able to distract from my mistakes, or even display my mistakes in a way people enjoy, will I be okay? Am I safe here? Am I redeemable even? You know?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's my answer for that.
Why do you feel like you would not be loved with a raw, uncut version?
Raw uncut version, I believe that I display that. I believe that it's really hard for me to grasp in a good moment, maybe. Like if I'm not fully excited, are people fully excited for me to be there? I ask myself that sometimes. Like if I just walk in the room and I'm just there, like, do I hurt someone being there? Or am I not received, maybe? That's my answer.
By being present or having a presence in a room? Or does your presence come with the big persona?
Me walking into a room, like I mentioned, I have a big personality. I think that just follows me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my answer leans on that's who, like, sometimes I lean into it a lot. I'm like, this is safe for me. Dangerous and safe. Like there have been moments where it's like I have to shut down because I realize it's almost like I can't be like this.
Mm-hmm.
In ministry, that happened to me. Like I came alive a lot when I would like speak or preach, or even be in my ministry setting. But when I was in meetings, my hands would literally sweat so bad that it would leave handprints on the tables in staff meetings, and they would laugh at me. And I'm like, I can't handle it. Like I'm literally in a spot where if I say something, I know I'm gonna be terrified. So there was an overcompensation in settings I would feel that I respected and loved, and there was a shutdown in settings that I realized I was in fear. I lean on my big personality and I strip it away to protect myself.
Wow.
A lot of that I think a lot of that has stemmed from I tell myself things that aren't even true about myself. I'm a creative person. So narratives and pictures are always going through my head, and I'm like, is that me? Am I this? Am I that? Oh, maybe I don't belong here. If I told everybody all these things,
We're
and all the
creative
things
to
in my
our
head,
own detriment.
to my own detriment.
Yeah.
And it hurts a lot. I am meaner to myself than the world is to me. Way meaner. Jesus, I'm so mean to myself. It's hard, but there's no but. It's just how it is.
So who would you say Aaron is fully safe? Yeah.
Who's my safe person? That I literally could be anything around?
No. Who is Aaron when he feels fully safe?
This could be a bitch to edit. Sorry. Super raw. Like I could talk about anything, I think. When I feel safe. Yeah. And also not in fear of other people's perception. What are they going to say? What are they going to think? I've been breaking through that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. That's my answer.
I'm excited for you.
Excited for me?
Yeah.
How so?
Because the breakthrough is coming. It's there. There's an awareness. You acknowledge it. So I think now it's just like a matter of time.
I believe so. I really believe so. I also I love me. I'm
Mhm.
confident in who I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get scared other people aren't confident in who I am.
Wow.
I think that's where a lot of that unsafe stems from as well.
That a lot of people aren't confident about who you are.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Driven by opinion.
Expand a little bit more.
Jesus. It was one question, Jessica. Literally.
I'm a life coach, so you
Good.
go there.
Expanding more on that. I want to do so much. I have big aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Am I allowed to fail?
Who are you asking?
It's an open-ended statement.
Okay.
Am I allowed to fail? If this person sees me fail, are they gonna be like, "Oh yeah, everything that I believed about him when he first walked in that's true," or he's a fraud, he's a fake, he messed up? It really stems from I could get addicted to anything. I literally, if you gave me like a certain type of sponge, I could probably get addicted to it. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it stems from even just like my initial addiction to cross dressing. I've mentioned, like, there's so much there that it's like, what is happening? Like, if I go back to that, are they gonna hate me? Or like, not even go back to that, but like, if I go back to a mistake, am I gonna get hated?
Mm-hmm.
Will I be hated? That was poorly spoken, but yeah. So that's my answer for that, Jessica.
So failure and mistake, they correlate.
They correlate, yeah.
So if you were to ask yourself, am I allowed to fail? What would Aaron say to Aaron? What would you say to yourself?
Oh, for me, I'm excited. I would be excited about it.
You'd be excited to fail.
Not excited about failing, but
I get.
Do you get my point? Like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
The idea of making the mistake, I'm like super, like, it fires me up because I'm like, dude, that is so much growth potential right there.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I've got it. There's something else in my pocket now.
Yeah.
I've seen the outcome. Boom. Now I'm a teacher. And I've got new resources.
Yeah.
And it's a story. There's so much story in failure.
Yeah.
Jeez, bro. My best stories in life have come from my mistakes. Come on, shout out mistakes. So it's like, I love it. Like, I do really love that. I love that part of the journey. The roller coaster.
So
of
you've
it.
given yourself permission to fail.
I do give myself permission to fail. I do everything I can to not. Everything I can to not. Sleepless nights even. And that's hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. I don't know if failure is my biggest weakness, but it is a fear. It's the idea of other people's idea of failure on me. That's a fear.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Who are you most scared that you'd like let down, or that would see you as a failure?
Probably my mother. Definitely my mother and Pastor Mutza.
Oh wow.
100%. If I were to like, so part of that drives me too. It's like, I have thoughts like, even like, certain drugs will pop up. Oh man, I would love this right now. Let me get some hands on some hydrocodone because I will go crazy. Or literally anything. But but I'm like, man, I do not want to put myself back at square one with people. I love the relationships I have with a lot of people, and so it hurts to be like, am I going to be in square one? Do I have to restart? I do not want to restart. I don't even have to respawn. I would love to just be like, all right, mistakes made, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Small thing. I think that's why I beat myself up a lot when I make them. Let me punish myself before someone else can punish me. So they see that it's a mistake. And they're like, oh, he's fixed it. He's good to go now.
And it's so crazy because I'm like the two people you named. I'm like, I'd be willing to put money down and saying that I know that they're like not only your biggest champions, but would also be like a safeguard for you in the moments that you do fail.
I think that's why it scares me the most. Because if my mom were to see me as a failure, I would feel ostracized. If Pastor Muta saw me as that.
Like if you were to make a mistake, or if you feel like in the moment like you would fail, they wouldn't see you as that, but they'd actually be like your safety net to help get you back up. And really keep going, son.
Yeah, it's true. To what limit? That's what gets me. How far would I have to go for them to give up? That's what I guess goes to my mind. That's what gets me fearful. Because I love my mom. I love Pastor Muta. I have more I would jump in front of 9 trains for both of them because of how much I've seen that they have loved me and accepted me. Man, I have cried in Pastor Muta's car, and I've cried on every call I've had with my mom, like ever. And so it's just really great to have somebody that even in the things that I've shared with them, they won't give up. And so the idea of maybe doing one thing that would make them give up is the hardest thing in the world. So I love them. I really do love them. Yeah.
You know that saying that's like, those who love much have been forgiven much.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that in just what I've heard and what I've experienced, I'm like, they don't seem like the people who will just dispose of anybody.
Right.
Like all the stories you've shared about your mom, she like welcomes in the rejected. And what I've known of even like Pastor Muta is like, he's like, I'm a big champion of people and I root for the underdog.
Come on.
And like I've experienced it because I'm like, Lord knows how many conversations we've had about like, you know, just being a part of the church and working and serving and my growth process through there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's been moments I'm like, this is for sure time. He's going to give up and be like, you're done. And then I'm met with grace instead, you know? And let's overcome and let's grow.
Do you get scared of losing opportunities?
I get scared of losing people.
People? Do you see people as like opportunities?
No.
Okay.
I see, I get scared of losing relationships. I've lost a lot of people. Like, I was talking to somebody recently who was like, you don't know how much my oil has cost. And I was like, I can relate to that. You have no idea how much my oil has cost.
Yeah.
How much I've had to lose in order to get here.
Wow.
And so I think for me, the biggest thing is people, you know, because it's like I've lost people I loved dearly. And so at the end of the day, I always want to just like maintain those like friendships and relationships. Because I'm like literally all my friends that I've had in life, like my best friends, like I have a best friend that I've had since we were 4 years old and the other one since we were 10.
Yeah.
And it's been this trio ever since.
Wow.
And so it's like when I have people, they're in my life for the long run, you know. There was a season where I'm like, there's some friends that just couldn't come with me to the next season, but I'm like, even that I grieved because I'm like, I love them very much, and I still do to this day.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think love's ever gone in that way.
Man,
Yeah.
it's remarkable. It's remarkable. It's the whole premise here too. It's like, I don't care who you are, what you've done. I wonder if that's what I do wonder if that's like what stems from the reasoning of like my heartbeat behind this too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm obsessed with people.
Mm-hmm.
I am like, it is my favorite thing to see faces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
The things that have happened in your life. I mentioned some of the people I want to have on this podcast
Yeah.
with you, and it excites me. It could terrify other people. I love that.
Yeah.
But like it's hard, it's so hard for me to get to that place where it's like, can you love me too?
Mm. And I feel like we talked about this because it was like, what is like your biggest fear in like love? And I was like, that people will never love me to the same capacity that I can love somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
I believe people will.
Same.
It's good.
Yeah.
Man, we went there too.
Yeah.
I wish we weren't mic'd.
Honestly, I'm like, oh, okay. We gonna release this one.
Yeah. I think we're gonna.
I think it's gonna be good.
Jessica, any closing thoughts?
This time I'll be for real, unlike last time. I based my whole life around this, and I have not done it perfectly. But there's a scripture I hold near to and really believe full-heartedly. And it says, "They will know you are my disciples by the way you love one another."
Come on.
And so I think my whole like philosophy in life is like, I just pray I can love people well. And I said this in the last episode too, but like return them back to the sender better than how I found them. And so final thoughts, learn how to love people well.
Come on.
I think a lot of us have the desire to, a lot of us don't know how to. A lot of us are scared to, because you've probably been hurt in your life. You've probably have felt rejection. You've probably felt abandonment, unworthiness, etc. Whatever the fill in the blank may be for you. But at the end of the day, like we're called to like love one another and bear one another's burdens. And I think the better we love people, the better we'll leave like our communities and just wherever God places us in that season. And so final thoughts. Love doesn't always need the right words or the right actions. Love is more just your presence.
Love is your presence.
Mm-hmm.
That's a word. I might just title the episode that.
You're gonna what?
I might just title the episode that.
Love is your presence.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Jessica Morales, thank you for coming on this episode. Thanks for going there with
Yeah.
me, bringing me into that spot too. Was not expected, but I'm thankful for that.
I'm sorry, I passed my quota. I know you asked me one question. I said 20. Got it.
I was like, shut the fuck. I was like, how do I end this episode right now? It was good though, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on again. Hey, follow us on Instagram at LoveWorksMVT. This is the LoveWorks podcast. I'm with Jessica. My name's Aaron, and yo, it was a good episode. Love you a
Yes.
bunch. Subscribe, follow, whatever the thing. Send it to a friend even. I don't know.
Share it to more than one friend. Share it to friends.
Friends. Come on, shout out friends. Shout out S's, you know what I'm saying? With the S, friend S. Peace
Bye,
out.
guys.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. That's a wrap.